Hello everyone. Let us continue with process costing. I'll just open the question sheet. We had completed up to this table and we need to start from a new concept in this session, that is inter process profit. But before that there is one question in part B which is related to my previous session, that is related to FIFO method with work in progress, and I had told you in the previous session that I'll be solving that. Let us solve that first and then come back to inter-process profit. I'm going to part B. Just give me a minute. I'll be opening that file, opening the page. Yeah, 255. In this, yes, from here we discussed all these questions except question number 4. Question number 4, and I'll be discussing question 4 now first, because as you can see here they have written that the company uses FIFO method for valuing work in progress. That means it is similar to what we have done in the previous sessions. Let us complete it. By the way, I have a lot of things to write even on the question sheet, so I'll be hiding my video. It will be more comfortable for me to write that way. All of you come to page 259. Now whatever I write on the screen, even on the question screen, I want even you guys to write in your textbook. Okay, I'll be hiding my video. Please focus on the screen, all of you. Question says, Star Limited manufactures chemical solutions for food processing industry. The manufacturing takes place in number of processes and company uses, please underline, FIFO method to value WIP. Right. You must understand here, the moment you see this company uses FIFO method, that means there should be some opening WIP. Otherwise, where is the question of FIFO? Correct. Next, work in progress and finished goods. That's okay. At the end of the last month, a fire occurred in the factory and destroyed some of paper containing records of the process operations for the month. They said some of the papers have been destroyed, which means you may have some data, you may have some missing information. Maybe it's like a reverse working problem. Some data they give and some data they won't, because question clearly says that they have lost some of the records. Okay. Star Limited needs your help to prepare process account. That means question is about process account for the month during which the fire occurred. You have been able to gather some information about the month's operating activities, but some of the information could not be retrieved due to the damage. When you read stories like this, no, you should understand that this question is not like the regular problem where opening WIP will be given, input will be given, output will be given. No, you may have few other information. You may have to do some reverse working, right? Yes. Some information could not be retrieved due to the damage. The following information was salvaged. This is what they could get, right? I want you to underline all of these things. Whatever I'm underlining now, first listen to me. I want you to underline this, this, and this. Please underline. I'll just wait. Yeah, these details are already given. What all you have? Opening WIP. Okay. You please visualize a process account. Debit side, first item. Yes. Closing WIP. Okay. Credit side. Normal loss, credit side. Output also credit side. Losses have scrap value. This will also go to the credit side only. Then all raw materials added at the beginning, cost of equivalent units, etc. And then directly required what? See sub question 1. Calculate the quantity of raw material input during the month. What does it mean? Come back here. If I don't copy this, I'll write in green, don't copy. If I prepare a process account with only quantities, see now I have opening WIP, yes, here, and then I have closing WIP, yes, I have here. Then normal loss, okay. Wherever there is normal loss, there may be some extra loss, so that will even give me abnormal loss or abnormal gain. And then they said output. Now you observe, you have every possible thing except one item that is needed, which is my input. And that is why sub question 1 says calculate the quantity in liters. Input, right? That's why I said this is a kind of reverse working problem. Okay. Yes, sir. We understood what is the question. Let us now read the details, please. Just give me a second. Okay. What are the details? First one, opening WIP at the beginning of the month was underlined 800 liters. Quantity given 70% complete for labor, 60% complete for overhead. Now you may think, sir, where is material? You have to wait. Opening work in progress was valued at 26640. That means value of opening WIP, that means rupees, is also given to you, right? Closing WIP at the end of the month is underline 160 liter, underline 30% labor, 20% overhead. Sir, where is material here also? Wait. Normal loss is 10% of input. Look at this, the word used is only 10% of input. That means don't take the opening WIP. In bracket you write, you should understand this as fresh input. You know, if it is including opening WIP, then they will give in the question, normal loss is 10% of input including opening WIP. So if nothing is given, then you can understand this as 10% of fresh input. 10% of fresh input. Okay. What is left out now? Abnormal loss, correct. Here they said total losses during the month were 1800 liters, partly due to the fire damage. The word used is partly, which means once you calculate the loss, once you calculate the total loss which is available here 1800, once you calculate the normal loss, the balance will be abnormal loss due to fire damage, right? Because here the word is total loss, that means this should include normal and abnormal, correct, sir? Next, output sent to finished goods warehouses 4200. This is again on the credit side. Losses have a scrap value 15 rupees, right? Now look at this, all raw materials are added at the commencement of the process. That means the moment you start the work, 100% material is consumed. 100% material is consumed, which means I will go back now and write in green here when they say 70% complete for labor, 60% complete for overhead. What should I understand? 100% complete for material also, right? If you want, you can also write one star there and write, because this line says all raw materials are added at the commencement. Now 70% of labor, 60% of overhead not required, even 1% of labor overhead is done, then also you should understand that the material is already 100%, because the line says you send the material inside the machine at the beginning of the process. Okay, same way read this line also, closing WIP at the end of the month is 160 liter, 30% for labor and 20% for overhead. Here also you should understand 100% for material. 100% for material. Okay, right. Next, the cost per equivalent unit is 39 rupee for the month, made up as follows: material, labor, overhead. Sir, cost per equivalent unit means step 2, sir. Correct. Step 2. Sir, step 2 they have already given. Yes, be happy. Step 2 is already given. But you must observe, step 1 is not there. Step 1 is not there, but step 2 is given. That's why I said reverse working. Maybe I'll have to use step 2 information and do step 3 and then do step 1. Understanding? Yes. This is given already. My cost per unit step is done. What needs to be calculated? They say you are required to calculate the quantity in liters. Please observe here. Don't prepare process account for first sub question. First sub question is calculate the quantity in liters of raw material input. Question is quantity input. Okay. Let us first do that and then I'll come back to question 2. Yeah. I'll now go to the answer sheet. All of you, please start writing. Just give me a second. Yes. Sub question 1, question 4, sub question 1. Write extract of process account. Extract of process account in bracket only quantity. Only quantity. Sir, why are you doing only quantity, not full account? Because my sub question 1 says calculate only quantity. Right. Okay, sir. Therefore, particulars quantity, particulars quantity. Right. Now let us bring all the numbers available. All of you please go back to the previous page. Sorry, same page, page 259. All the bullet points. First was opening WIP, bring it here. 2, opening work in progress, 800. Okay. Closing WIP, this side, right here after 1 or 2 lines, because you normally don't write the closing balance first. Closing WIP is 160. Okay. Normal loss is 10% of input. We don't know, but total loss is 1800. So you can write it as by losses. Total loss anyway, 1800. Normal, abnormal doesn't matter here. I'm not preparing process account. I don't have to do the rupee calculation anyway. I just need the quantity details. So I can take it as it is. It may so happen that 1700 is normal loss, 100 is abnormal loss. Doesn't matter. Anyway, total loss is 1800. Right. Next. Output sent to finished goods is 4200. So this is by output to FG. Output to FG 4200. Now you observe all possible items are there on the screen already. Opening WIP I have, closing WIP I have, output I have, losses I have. Then the only missing figure is input. Yes, please do the ledger total first. All of you do the ledger total. Six one six zero minus 800 will be 5360. Let me recheck once. 6160 minus 800. Yes, 5360. What is 5360 now? 2 input of raw material in bracket balancing figure. Balancing figure. Yes, sir. Done. Sub question 1 is answered. Please go back to sub question 2. Sub question 2. All of you see. Sub question 2 says calculate the quantity, again only quantity in liters of normal loss expected from the process and the quantity in liters of abnormal loss or gain experienced in the month. That means this sub question 2 is only about calculating normal loss and abnormal loss. Start writing total losses in bracket given 1800 liters. 1800 liters, yes. Under this, two arrow mark, one is normal loss, the other one is abnormal loss. Abnormal loss. How much will be normal loss given in the question? See there, bullet number 3 says normal loss is 10% of input. So 10% of 5360, correct? 5360 we just now worked out. Yes, that should be 536. 536. That means the balancing figure in calculator 1800 minus 536 will be 1264. Yeah, 1264 balancing figure. Now some of you may ask, sir, on what guarantee did you write abnormal loss? There can be abnormal gain also. On what guarantee did you write it will be abnormal loss only? You know what was my clue? The clue was in the question, in the third bullet point, they said normal loss is 10% of input and total losses during the month was 1800, partly due to fire damage. When there is a fire damage, there has to be some abnormal loss. There cannot be abnormal gain, right? So that was the clue. Indirectly, they said there is no abnormal gain in this question. There is abnormal loss only because there was fire. When there is fire, you will definitely lose something more than expected loss because fire is not expected. So anything that happens in fire, anything that is lost in fire is part of abnormal loss. Yes, sir. Correct. Okay. Let us continue. Go back to question number 3. Question number 3. Here they asked you calculate the value of raw material, labor, overhead added to the process. When they say added to the process, you know what they're talking about. I'll go back to my answer here. Please focus on the screen. When I prepared this process account, I had only quantities, correct? Now they want me to do even value. But in this, which value they want? See, subquestion 3 clearly says value of raw material, labor and overhead added to the process. That means they want something on the debit side. Added means input. They want some material, some labor, some overhead, right? But again, when input was a balancing figure, input quantity was a balancing figure, even input of material cost, labor cost, overhead cost will be a balancing figure because for everything else they have given the value in the question, right? Go back to the question, go back to bullets, and I will be highlighting things in green. Observe whatever I highlight in green now. Go to bullet point 1. Opening WIP, etc., 800 liters, 70%, and so on. In the same point, they said opening work in progress value 26640. That means this number is given. Okay, sir. Then closing work in progress at the end of the month 160 liter, 30% complete for labor, 20%. Sir, this value they have not given. This they have not given, but you can do the valuation. Sir, how? In the same page, end of that page, there is a table where they have given cost per equivalent unit 23, 7 and 9. If you multiply 23, 7, 9 with closing WIP, degree of completion, equivalent units, you can get those numbers correct, sir. Unlike previous recordings problem, you don't have to do step 2, but step 1 and step 3 has to be done, right, sir? So closing WIP, this is also given. Then normal loss is 10%, total loss is given partly due to the damage. Output sent to finished goods is 4,200. Sir, here also value is not given. Their abnormal loss value is not given. All that will come when you do valuation. Valuation is your step 3, correct. Losses scrap value 15 rupee. Yes, this will help you in completing the process account, correct. Cost per unit equivalent 39 rupee, 23, 7 and 9. This is your step 2 that they have already done. Basically you should now work out process account with both quantity and value, and then step 1 you have to do, step 2 they have already given, step 3 you have to do. Sir, why are you asking us to do process account? See sub question 4 please, all of you. Sub question 4 says prepare process account. That means sub question 3 and 4 can be answered together, right? All of you start writing now. Sub question 3 and 4, sub question 3 and 4. In that working note 1, okay. Do not prepare process account. What is the first thing you do after process account? Step 1, right? Do you have every details that you need for step 1? Yes sir, I have. FIFO method they said in the second line of the question, correct. Opening WIP, closing WIP, transfer, normal, abnormal, everything is available sir. I can do equivalent units. Please do it. Start everybody. Working note 1, statement of equivalent units, output, and then material, labor, overhead, degree of completion, equivalent units, DOC and EU. Okay, what all outputs we have? Go back to your first answer, sub question 1 answer. You have the numbers here. Look at this. I am circling in orange. You have output, you have loss, you have closing WIP. But be careful, this loss you have to break this into normal and abnormal. That is already there here. You have already done this. Yes. Start writing. Output first. Transfer. How many units did we transfer? 4,200. Yes. Leave 2 lines after this because we are under FIFO method. Yeah. And then you have normal loss. How much was normal loss? We did 536. And then abnormal losses 1264. And then closing WIP 160. Okay, right. Now tell me what to do for transfer. You have to first break this into, right, opening WIP and new production. Go back to the question. First bullet point, opening work in progress 800 liters, right? So this will be first 800, and then 4,200 minus 800, 3400. This is my new production. Yes, so this comes from opening WIP. This is my new or fresh production. Okay, continue. For opening WIP 800 units, material is 100%, so this will be 0%, right? What about labor and overhead? Go back to the question. They said you have already done 70% labor, 60% overhead. So this will be 30% and 40%. So 30% of this is 240 and this is 320. Right. New production, obviously, everything is 100%. This is 3400 everywhere. Normal loss, we know nothing to be done. Abnormal loss. Abnormal loss. In my previous video at the very beginning, I dictated a summary about degree of completion. I said if nothing is given about losses, then you have to consider it as 100, 100, 100. If something is given in the question, take it. If I see in this question, loss adjustment is there in bullet point 3. Normal loss 10%, abnormal loss, etc. etc. Nowhere you have degree of completion given for abnormal loss. If nothing is given, we have to take 100, 100, 100. Previous video at the very beginning, I had given a summary notes. Yeah, 100, 100, 100. 1264, 1264, 1264. Okay. Closing WIP. This degree of completion is given bullet point 2 in the question. 30% labor, 20% overhead, and I've already told you material will be 100%. Yes. So this is 100%, labor 30%, overhead 20%. So this is 160, this is 48 and 32. That's all. Totals. This is anyway 6160. This we know, but more important is other numbers. Please work out. I will also calculate parallelly. Material is coming to 4824. Yes, 4824. Labor is 4952. 4952. And overhead is 5016. 5016. If you are working out, you can pause the video, no problem. I hope the numbers are correct. Let me continue. What is the next step? Cost per unit. Cost per unit is already given, so you don't have to do step 2, but for our convenience, I'm just writing step 2, cost per unit. Cost per unit. Material, it's given in the question. I'm just copying from the question, that's all. Material 23, labor 7, overhead 9. Here, just above this, you write in bracket given. That's it. 23, 7 and 9. Okay. What is the last thing to be done? Step 3, valuation. Valuation. What all you need to value? The credit side items. Correct. Credit side items. That is, which is the first credit side item, by the way, go up in your process account. Yeah. Transfer. Start with that. Transfer is equal to, tell me what all I need to take. What all I need to take? First, opening WIP value. Yes, and that was 26640. Correct, sir. 26640 plus what all I did on opening WIP in this year, right? Material was 0, material was 0, plus labor was 240, 240 into 7 rupees, right? And overhead will be 320 into 9 rupees, 320 into 9 rupees. And additionally, I have to take one more number, the fresh production 3400. Sir, into what? Into, anyway, this is all 100%. So 23 plus 7 plus 9 or 39 rupee directly given in the question. Anyway, you're going to add the same three numbers, right? Okay, let me just check. 26640 plus this will be 240 into 7, 320 into 9, 4560 plus 3400 into 39. If I add all of this, I'm getting 163,800, 163,800, right? I'm just highlighting it. I'll require it later, therefore. Next, what is the second thing to be valued? Go back to your process account. Go back to your process account. I'm just scrolling up here. Losses, that is normal loss and abnormal loss. Anyway, normal loss we don't have to do. That will be multiplied by scrap value. So here you just write normal loss shown at scrap value is equal to how many units of normal loss? 536. We have done it, by the way, in one of the workings, 536, and this is sold at 15 rupees, right? Rupees 15. 536 into 15, 8040, right? If you do not write this also, I am fine, not a problem. Next thing I need is abnormal loss. Yes, go to your equivalent unit table. In your equivalent unit table, abnormal loss is 1264 everywhere. So I can directly do 1264 into 39 rupees, correct? 1264 into 39 rupees, 49,296. Right, sir. Done. We have one last thing to be done, that is closing WIP. Closing WIP. Where are the units? Where are the units, by the way? Again, previous table. Let me scroll up. 160, 48, 32. 160, 48, 32. 160 will be multiplied by material, that is 23 rupee. 48 will be multiplied by 7, and 32 will be multiplied by 9. This number 160 into 23, 48 into 7, 32 into 9, 4304. 4304. Yes, we have calculated everything that is possible. Now you tell me, sub question 3 and sub question 4, all of you go back. Sub question 3 and sub question 4 is talking about calculate the value of RM, labor, overhead added to the process. So this should be on the debit side. And then sub question 4 says prepare the process account for the month. Now step 1 I did, step 2 they gave, step 3 I did. All three steps are ready. That means I can now prepare the process account. When I prepare the process account, all credit side items are with me already. Sir, where? Just now you did. Yes, on the debit side, I need some numbers. In that also, opening WIP is given in the question. The balancing figure will be input. Sir, we are not happy. Why you are not happy? Sub question 3 says, don't just calculate value of input. Sub question 3 clearly says, work out input of material, labor, overhead separately. You can't take one number as balancing figure. Correct. In the total input which we are going to get as a balancing figure, I will have to find out how much is material, how much is labor, how much is overhead. For that, first I should prepare process account. Yes. Start, everybody. Process account. Process account. Now quantity and value. Quantity, value. Okay. Let me begin. What all I have? First, 2. Opening WIP given in the question. First bullet point, 800 liters. Value also given, 26640. 26640. Right. Then I need 2. Input of raw material. Right. This we did in sub question 1. Sub question 1. 5360 was the number. If you want, you can just go back. First working note, first answer that you did was this 5360. Sir, what about value? I don't know. Just wait for a minute. Okay, sir. Then on the credit side, that is bullet point 2, closing WIP they have. Okay. And then they have normal loss, abnormal loss, output. By the way, you have done the valuation of all this just now. Yeah. So you can copy from there. If you want to go in the order of your working note also, no problem. What did you calculate first? Transfer. Okay. 163,800 by transfer. 163,800. 4,200 liters. Okay. And then you calculated normal loss. That is 536. 8040. Right, sir. Then you calculated abnormal loss. That was 1264 and 49296 value. You just have it above your process account. And then you did closing WIP. 160 and 4304. 4304. Right, sir. Now tell me. Credit side, everything possible we have taken. Debit side, quantity numbers are ready. What I need is only value part. Let us first total this. Total. Quantities are already matching. 4200 plus 536 plus 1264 plus 160, 6160. Here also 6160. This is ready. Value. Can you just total the credit side, please? 163,800 plus 8040 plus 49296 plus 4304. I'm getting 225440. 225440. Okay. Now don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to do 225440 minus 26640 and write entire 198800 as material. That is impossible. Please apply common sense. To do a process, only material is not enough. You need some labor and some overhead. Correct. That means there will be some wage cost, no quantity, and then there will be some overheads. That means there are 3 numbers now, not one number. So if I identify these three, then my answer is ready. Answer is done. Yes, sir. How to do? By the way, when I do step 1, step 2, step 3 in a normal problem, not a reverse working problem, where will I take these numbers? Tell me. In step 1, it's all about quantity and degree of completion. Correct, sir. In step 2, we used to take these numbers. Where, sir? How did we calculate step 2 cost per unit? We used to take total raw material input minus scrap value divided by number of units. That used to be material cost per unit. Yes, in this question, that material cost per unit is given 23. From there we can do reverse working. Yes, start writing computation of input cost. Computation of input cost. First, material cost per unit is equal to what we used to do. Listen now. Raw material input, that I don't know, minus scrap income from normal loss. Correct. That is 8040, right? To be divided by number of units material. Sir, where is number of units material? You have done already. Go back. I'm just scrolling up. Where is material here? I am highlighting 4824. This number is already with you. Yes. So x minus 8040 to be divided by 4824, and this should give you material cost per unit, and that number is already given in the question, 23 rupees, right? So now cross multiply 4824 into 23, 110952. So x minus 8040 is this number. So x is equal to 110952 plus 8040. That should be 118992. That is x, that is RM input, raw material input 118992. If you want, I'll quickly repeat. I used to do this as step 2, but in this question, they had given the details, right? What details was given? This number was given, right? And this number I calculated. This number also I calculated. What was needed? Only this number. So what I did, I wrote my step 2 formula only. Material cost is equal to input of RM, which is X, minus scrap income from normal, divided by 4824. Equivalent units from material point of view. 23, which was available, I wrote on the other side. Now cross multiply and then calculate the value of X, right? What else you need? Labor cost. Okay, do it same way. Labor cost per unit is equal to, we don't know the number, you don't have to deduct scrap value or anything here, simple this is, should be divided by how many units of labor, equivalent units. If you go back to your table, you'll get 4952. This should be equal to 7 rupees. So here it's a simple cross multiplication. X will be 4952 into 7. 4952 into 7, 34664. 34664. That is X, which is labor cost, right? Last thing that I need is overhead cost per unit. Same way, X divided by how many units? 5016. That should be equal to 9 rupees. Now cross multiply 5016 into 9, 45144. 45144, and this is my overhead cost. Yes, done. Let us now go back to process account and copy these numbers here. I'm just erasing this highlighted part. These are the numbers: 118,992, 34664, and 45144. And you guys will have to total and confirm that the ledger account is tallying. If not, somewhere something is wrong. Yes. Let me just recheck. Yes, the total is matching 225440. That means end of the answer. Right. So this is why I told you it's a reverse working problem, little different. It's the same process costing, same FIFO method, same opening WIP, but they had given one step. They wanted us to do other step. You mark this as important. You mark this important, and you must do it during your revision. Right. Let me go back. Yes, we completed the answer. If you want, you can cross check. Equivalent units, process account. Yes, the total is here 225,440. This is what we did just now. Okay, let me go back to part A. Part A, page. Yes, I think we have to discuss the last concept we did up to this table. Yeah, I need to start from inter-process profit. All of you come to page number 120. Everybody, 120. Inter-process profit. Name itself tells you that this is the profit earned by transferring goods from one process to another process. Inter-process profit. The profit earned by transferring goods from process 1 to process 2, process 2 to process 3. Sir, how is it possible when you say all goods are transferred at cost? Where is the question of profit? Good question. Good question. Those companies where they don't transfer goods at cost, they will set something called as transfer price. Observe my wordings. I did not say selling price, because you are not selling it to anybody. You are transferring from department A to department B, process A to process B, process 1 to process 2. That means when receiver of the goods and giver of the goods is a part of the same company, you cannot call it a sale and purchase. Therefore, you should call it as transfer price. Yes, sir. Now, why do you want to transfer it at a price and not at cost? This I think I'd explained in the initial part of the chapter. Some companies want to assign some target price to these processes. I call the process a manager and say, sir, whatever you want to spend in your process, you spend, but I want you to transfer the goods at 80 rupee per unit to next process. Now, for him, what is the target? He should incur less than 80. Then in his books, he can show some extra money. For example, cost per unit in process 1 comes to 74 rupee, and I have asked him to transfer at 80. Then he can show, look, compared to my target, I have completed the work by saving 6 rupee. Then he can come and ask for his incentive, his bonus. And remember, what will be the input to process 2? Not 74. Input to process 2 will be 80, because goods are not getting transferred at 74, it is getting transferred at 80. Now for process B or process 2, 80 becomes input cost. He will have his own material, his own labor cost and other things, and I will set a target transfer price to him also and say, you will get it from process A at 80 plus whatever you spend, I don't know. Ultimately, you have to transfer it to process C or process 3 at 140 rupee. Now his target is 80 is the input cost, 140 is the transfer price. In 60 rupee, he has to complete his activity. If he completes that in 55 rupee, then we'll get to know even this man is saving 5 rupee to the company. Correct. But sir, what if he incurs 62 rupee? Then you get to know that this man is spending more than the standard cost, more than the target cost. You know what we are doing now? We are making each department or each process responsible. We are giving them a target. We are asking them to complete the work within the target. We told them, look, process 1, process 2, process 3, we will not consider all of us together as one company. I will make you individually a responsibility center. I will incur some cost to you, cost in your department, and I want you to reduce the cost, control the cost, so that your transfer price is at least 1 rupee above your cost, and whatever is the difference, you can count it as your profit. But that's not business profit, that is inter-process profit, right? If I do this, now every process will be very careful about how much they spend. Imagine if we don't break our departments like this, if we don't make them as separate department, separate cost center, separate responsibility centers, what will happen? Process A will spend how much ever he wants, transfers it to B, B will spend the way he wants, transfers it to C, and then C will do his work, FG ready, sold. End of the year, you will have losses, and you will call the meeting of all three departments, process A, process B, process C. Process C says, sir, I am the last process. These two people give me input at such a high price. What can I do? Process B says, sir, not my fault. This man, process A, is giving me input at such a high cost. What can I do? And then process A will alone be responsible. But then process A says, sir, I agree. I am spending something extra. Are you saying second and third process they're not spending anything extra? They are also spending anything extra. Why can't you blame them also? If you don't keep a target price, if you don't keep a transfer price, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens when you don't break things into departments. Now, when you break things into department, you will get to know how much was the target cost for A. When you call him for the meeting at the end of the year, you will only talk about him. You say, brother, we gave you this as the target cost. And look here, this is your actual cost. Why is there a difference? Now don't blame B or C. It is your number. It was your target. Now you can hold everybody responsible. If he does well, then you can recognize him, give bonus, incentive, promotion, everything. But if he's spending more than the target, then you can ask him what is going wrong. The purpose of breaking the department and setting the transfer price is not to make profit. Profit here is an imaginary number. Why? Process A is transferring to process B. Process A is happy. So much of inter-process profit. As a company, I know there is no profit. When A transfers something to B, I know there is no profit. When will there be profit, sir? When the last process sells goods to customer. Till that, there is no profit. But because of this imaginary number called inter-process profit, these guys will be careful about their spending. That is the advantage. That is the advantage. Here you have the theory advantages. This is what I explained to you now. I'll quickly read from the beginning. I've explained in detail. If there is any other point, I will explain it once again. Here, generally, processes are regarded as cost centers, cost T here, cost centers. That is, the focus is only on ascertainment of cost. That's what we learned in the entire chapter so far. Yes. Sometimes they can also be treated as profit centers, that is, responsibility for earning some profit. What profit? Inter-process profit. However, since the output of intermediate process is not directly saleable, the output of one process is transferred to next process, not at cost, but at market value or cost plus a percentage of profit. This is called what price? Transfer price. Transfer price. The difference between cost incurred and transfer price will be inter-process profit. That is, process A is spending 30 rupee cost per unit and he is transferring it at 35. A to B, transfer price is 35. Now 5 rupee will be your inter-process profit. Yes. What is the advantage, sir? Why should we do? Read. First one, it is possible to compare the cost of output and market value at each stage, right? It is easier to fix responsibility of process manager for cost control through indirect means of achieving higher profit. I told you, you can blame, you can find out who is wasting money. Third one, each process is made to stand by itself as to the profitability. Now you are encouraging everybody. You build a competitive spirit in the company. Every process manager wants to show higher inter-process profit. Now what will happen? Every process manager will try and reduce his cost. Good for the company. Good for the company. For them, there is an imaginary number called inter-process profit. But as a company as a whole, when cost comes down, automatically the profit will increase. Right? You know, it is like our what can I say? Citizens, our Indian citizens. If you tell people that all of us collectively should do something, they won't, because when you say all of us collectively, I will say first let them start, I'll do later, and he will be waiting for me to start, right? But if government brings some rule where they say individually you are supposed to do this, otherwise you will be charged some penalty, then everybody will follow. Everybody will follow. You can keep many examples in mind. Some jobs government left it to us, government gave some job to citizen, saying it is our collective responsibility, and you know how well we are handling our collective responsibilities, right? Whether it is cleanliness, whether it is pollution, whether it is environment, government keeps saying it is collective responsibility of a citizen, and what I think others should do first, what others are thinking I should do first, correct? And what everybody keeps saying nobody is doing, why should I do? This is exactly like process 1, process 2, process 3. I am process 1, my neighbor is process 2, another guy is process 3. But when you say, you Mr. Process 1, you should do this, otherwise we will charge penalty on you, then process 1 will be responsible. Best example is helmet. They say if you don't wear helmet, be responsible. If you don't wear helmet, we will charge fine. Now I won't say let my neighbor start, then I will start. No, no, no. If I don't start, I have to pay penalty. No, so I'll be careful. Whether they follow or not, I have to follow because penalty is on me. But when they say cleanliness, what do I say? Everybody's responsibility. Everybody means everybody other than me. Let others start, then I will start. So anything that is kept for collective wisdom, there is a risk. Nobody takes responsibility. But when you assign something to individual, specific department, specific person, and if they don't do it, you can have some mechanism to control it, like the fine and the penalty. Correct. Disadvantages. There are some challenges also. Number one, it is complicated method involving transfer pricing consideration. The determination of appropriate price is not a very simple affair. How do you fix this price? That becomes a challenge. In today's problem, we will try and learn how these profits are accounted, how they calculate these numbers, but practically it is difficult to fix a transfer price, because if you keep a very high transfer price, no, process A will be very happy, but B will say sir this is too much, because whatever is the transfer price for A becomes input cost to B. He says sir this is too much, I can't take so much. And then if you reduce the transfer price, A will cry sir this is such a less price, I can't complete my cost, I can't complete the work in less than the transfer price, please increase the price. Now, what if your transfer price from A to B is so high that B is unhappy and says, I will not take these goods from A if this is the price, I will buy it from some other person from outside. Possible, you can get the job work done. Then you may start encouraging an outsider and discouraging your own department. That becomes a challenge. Second, it might promote conflict and misunderstanding among managers as regards comparative profitability. I told you an advantage that it brings some competitive spirit. Wherever there is competition, there is even conflict. Last one, it requires reconciliation between profit booked at each stage and the actual profit realized by the company, since it shows profits lying unrealized in stock not sold out. What is this? Observe my example carefully. Process A transferred something to process B, B transferred something to C. and C had to sell it to customers outside. You know what happened? Unfortunately, in this year, 100 units were transferred from A to B, 100 units were transferred from B to C, but not even single unit is sold to customer from C. Now, at the end of the year, what will happen? Process A will come and ask the directors, sir, give me my bonus and incentive because I have transferred 100 units to B at a price given by you and my cost is much less than the transfer price. I have earned some profit for my department. I don't know about the company. My department, give me bonus because you only said 5 minutes back. Right. 5 minutes back means my explanation. They would have told him 1 year back. That means that is if you spend cost less than the transfer price, you will get some bonus. Yes. B also will come and say, sir, I transferred so many units to C at a cost which is much less than transfer price. That means I have also helped in cost control, cost reduction. Give me also bonus. A and B are so excited about their bonus, but company says, brothers, not one now, two brothers, A and B, we we should give you bonus, we know, but the problem is not even one unit we have sold to the customer. All that you gave us, all that you gave us is lying in closing stock. Whatever A gave, that was with B completed, that is in C. Ultimately, you may say there is some inter-process profit. As a company as a whole, nothing we have sold. When nothing is sold, there is no profit. We want to give you bonus, but what to do? We don't have money to give you bonus because we have not sold anything. Now tell me, what will A and B says? They will be angry. They say that is your problem. Ultimately, look what is happening in the company. A wants bonus, B wants bonus, C is not able to sell it to customer, so no cash in hand, so you can't give bonus, and A and B are unhappy. Finally, you have messed up everything in the company. Number one, you're not selling. Number two, there is no cash in hand. Number three, A and B are performing well, but you're not recognizing them. Fourth, next year, even A and B will not perform well because they know unless goods are sold outside, they won't get anything. This creates a problem when there is, look at this, profit unrealized because goods are not sold yet. Why is the word unrealized? Because you will realize the profit only when goods go outside the business. From A to B, B to C, it's only imaginary profit. Yes. Theory is very important. Please mark, they can ask you advantage and disadvantage from inter-process profits. Okay, let me do question number 12. This is a small concept. You have only one problem. Even in study material, you have just one single problem. I have given one problem in part B. I will do part A now. Today's homework for you will be to do part B, one sum on inter-process profit. Okay, question number 12. A product passes through two processes, 1 and 2, and reaches FG stage. Okay, output of process 1 is transferred to next process at 25% profit on price. What price? Transfer price. And output of 2 is transferred to FG at a profit of 20% on transfer price. Okay, that means goods are transferred from one process to another process, not at cost, but at price. Some profit to be added. Right, sir. Stock in the process is valued at prime cost. Underline, stock in the process is valued at prime cost. The finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process 2. Underline process 2, underline finished stock. You will get to know the importance of these lines later when you are working out the sum. Sale of finished goods during the period was 1,40,000. When they say sale of finished goods, this should be sale of ultimate goods to whom? Customers, right? 1,40,000. The following information is also given for the year ended 31st March. Okay, particulars here. Process 1, process 2, FG. Opening stock, material, wage, manufacturing overhead, closing stock, inter-process profit included in opening stock. Sir, what is this? You tell me. If I am process 2, my opening stock is all that has come from previous process. I repeat, if I am process 2, my opening stock is all that has come from previous process, correct? And whatever comes from previous process will not be at cost. That will be at price. Price includes some profit. Yes. How should I understand this? 9,000 is my opening stock. I am process 2. 9,000 is my opening stock. Out of that, 1,500 is the profit added by whom? 1 to 2. That means cost of opening stock will be 9,000 minus 1,500. Same way you have the number here also. I know some of you are focusing here and may be thinking, why is it 0? Apply common sense. Process 1 is the first process, correct? Their opening stock is all that they have purchased from outside customer, correct? Where is the question of inter-process profit? That is the first process. Understanding? Process 2 can say inter-process profit because it is buying things from 1. FG can say inter-process profit because they are buying from 2. Process 1 can't say inter-process profit because they're not buying from process, they're buying from some other company, and you don't know how much profit they are charging, by the way. And it is your purchase of raw material cost. This is the first process, right? That is why it should be 0. You are required to work out process accounts. That means process 1, process 2, finished stock account showing profit element at each stage. This becomes important. You can't write everything to costing P&L and then show it in P&L. They want you to show profit at each stage, right? Also show costing P&L account, right? By the way, something related to this concept you will be learning even in departmental accounts. If you want, somewhere here, just make one note, one line note. Make one note. Similar concepts will be studied in departmental accounts chapter. That is your accounts syllabus part. Yeah, departmental accounts chapter, because there also department 1 to 2, 2 to 3 you have. Yes. Let us start. I will open my answer notepad. I'm hiding the video. All of you start writing. Process 1 account. Process 1 account. Here, don't write quantity and value. Survive. You don't have quantity anywhere in the question, by the way. Right, sir. But you have to do something else here. Not everything is going at the cost. Something goes at cost plus some profit. Therefore, keep more space on the debit side. Start writing particulars. I need 4 columns on the debit side. Particulars, total, cost, profit. Total, cost, profit. Credit side also, particulars, total here, cost here, profit here. Okay, start writing. First, you have to always start from opening stock. Yes. 2, opening stock 7,500. Is there any profit included in opening stock? See that column of process 1? No. So this will be 0. So this is 7,500. Okay. Then I need additional input. Yes. 2, direct material. What's the number? 15,000. First fill the total and then fill the profit. Obviously material cost will not have profit, so 0, and here 15,000. Okay. Then comes wages, 11,200. It will not have profit. This is only cost. Hold on now. Don't write manufacturing overhead. Listen to me. There is one line in the question. Please go back to the previous page in the question. Second paragraph says stock in process is valued at the prime cost. Prime cost means only direct material, direct wage, and whatever that has come from previous process will also be considered as input only. Therefore, you have to do one small subtotal here. Subtotal. Everybody add these 3 total numbers: 7,500, 15,000, 11,200. I think you will get 33700. Yes, 33700. Profit is 0. That means 33700. From this, you have to deduct closing stock. Right. Now, you know what I am doing? In my ledger accounts, normally I will take opening stock and cost on the debit side. Closing stock goes to the credit side. Instead of writing it on the credit side, I am deducting it from the debit side. Net effect is same. Either you write on the credit side or you show on the debit side. Net effect is same. Yes. How much is closing stock? 3,700. Okay. Sir, do you think any profit is included in this? Listen to me here. Very important part. When 0 was the profit for 33,700, how much will be the profit for 3,700? That will be 0. Cross multiplication basically 0, right? Therefore, this will be 33,700. If there is some profit element, then you will have to do that cross multiplication. You will get some number. Now you don't have anything. Okay, 3,370. No, 3,000. Let me just recheck. 3,700. Yeah, I'm sorry. 3,700. Yes. So now this will be net prime cost. Net prime cost. This is 30,000. No profit. This is 30,000. Okay. For prime cost, we have to add factory overhead or manufacturing overhead. Same thing. Manufacturing overhead. What's the number? 10500. Obviously, this is a cost item. There won't be profit element. 10500. This is 40500. Now I can call this as process cost. Right. Sir, we never write subtotal and all like this in the ledger account. No, correct. Here the focus is not about ledger account presentation. Here the focus is more on transfer price, profit computation. So focus is not about your ledger format. Don't worry about the ledger format. What is more important here is we calculate profit and transfer price properly. Yes. Now process cost is 40500. Now what to do? This should be transferred to next process. Yes, go back to previous page in your textbook. Read the second line. The output of process 1 is transferred to next process at 25% on price. Now don't take 25% on 40500. 40500 is your cost. You have to add profit. And how much is profit? 25% on price. Correct. If you want separately, you write a note. Profit is equal to, if you want only you write this. If you can understand, you don't have to. Profit is equal to 25% on price. Correct. 25% on price means what? If selling price is 100, then profit is 25. 25% on price. Therefore, cost is 75. Right. Therefore, percentage of profit on cost will be 25 by 75. Please observe here, it was 25% on price, so I wrote selling price 100, profit 25, therefore cost is 75. Now if I want the percentage on cost, I should do 25 by 75 into 100. Yes, and that will give me 33.33%. Now this is on cost. Sir, why on cost? Because my denominator is cost anyway. Yes. Now come back. Here you add profit 33.33% on cost. Total cost. Sorry, not just cost. Please write total cost. That is 40500. 13 into 33.33. I'm getting 13,500. Tell me where you should write. In the last column, profit column. Nothing in cost column. total column will be 13,500. Yes. Add these two. This will be the ledger total. This is 13500. This is 40500. This will be 54,000. This is the total of the ledger, and this is the price at which I will be transferring to process 2. Yes, all of you. Now on the credit side, by transfer to process 2, copy from here 54,000, in that 40500, 13500. Total of the ledger 54,000, 40500, 13500. Yes, done. You have to listen to me for a minute. Now tell me, if you consider process 1 as a separate entity, please observe my wordings. If you consider it as a separate entity, how much will be their income? The transfer price, how much is the price? 54,000. If you consider process 1 as a separate entity, imaginary separate entity, then this will be their income. Now, if 54,000 is the income for process 1, then same 54,000 should be considered as effective cost to process 2. Imagine you have two different bank accounts for process 1, process 2. How much should process 2 transfer to process 1? Is it 40500 or 54,000? 54,000. He will say, sir, my price is 54,000. You have to pay me 54,000. Therefore, whenever I say cost, you have to consider the relevant cost here. Here, for the next process, 54,000 becomes relevant cost. But from company's point of view, cost incurred is only 40500. In between, what do we have, sir? One imaginary profit called inter-process profit. Yes. Let us now start process 2 account. Everybody, process 2 account. Particulars. First total, then cost component, profit component. Before you write transfer from process 1, remember you have your own opening stock first. Let us bring that first. Your own opening stock is 9,000 rupee. In that you have some profit component. Okay, start to opening stock 9,000 here. In that 1,000, sorry, not here, 1,500 is profit component. That means 7,500 should be cost component. Yes. Continue. 2. Transfer from process 1 account. Copy the number from there. 54,000, 40500, 13500. Yes. On top of this, you will have your own cost. Yes. Where is that, sir? Given in the question. All of you have to see in the question, process 2 column, you have the numbers. Material, you have labor, you have, correct? Yes. Bring those things now to material. 15750. No profit, obviously. 15750. Then direct wage component 11250. Nothing here. 11250. Okay. Don't write manufacturing overhead. You have to do a subtotal. Yes. Subtotal. Add all these numbers. Let me also do it. 90,000 total. This is 75,000 and 15,000. By the way, if you are still totaling it, you can pause the video. Yes. Why did we do subtotal? so that we can calculate closing stock. Correct. Deduct closing stock. How to do, sir? How much is the value of closing stock given in the question? 4,500. Yes. Now tell me. You can do a small cross multiplication. Small cross multiplication. Do it. Do it. 15,000 is the profit out of 90,000 rupee. Then for 4,500, what should be the number? 4500 into 15,000 divided by 90,000. That will be 750 rupees. Write it here. Now the missing number 3750. I have highlighted the cross multiplication, by the way. Yes. Now this will be your net prime cost. Net prime cost. That comes to 85,500. 71250 and 14250. 14250. Right, sir. There is one more thing to be taken, I think. Manufacturing overhead, or manufacturing overhead 4,500. Obviously that will not have any profit component. Yes, bring it now to manufacturing overhead. Amount is given, no profit component, so entirely you have cost component. Now if you add this, you get process cost. Total process cost. How much will that be? 90,000 here. 75750. I'll just recheck. 71250 plus 4,500. Yes, correct. And then this will be 14250. Right, sir. What is the next thing to be done? You have to add profit. Yes. How much should be the profit? Go back to the question. In the first paragraph, they said, third line, process 2 will be transferred to FG at a profit of 20% on price. Tell me, 20% on price means what? If my selling price is 100, then profit will be 20, correct? Then cost will be 80. Then profit percentage profit on cost will be 20 by 80. That is 25%. 25% on cost. But here I have an important question. Listen to me. Should I apply 25% on 90,000 or should I apply it on 75750? Don't get confused. At the very beginning, I told you for process 2, if they have a separate bank account, how much they will have to pay to process 1? 54,000, not 40500. That means relevant column for them is this number. Sir, then what is this word cost? Please understand, this is cost in real sense. This is profit which is unrealized, and this is my relevant cost for all decision making. Right? I repeat, at the very beginning of the process 2, I told you, if process 2 has a separate bank account, then they have to pay 54,000 to get goods from process 1, not 40500. That means what is the relevant cost to them? 54,000. Sir, then what is 40500? That is the cost component in total amount that they are going to pay. For company, this is relevant, but for process 2, this is relevant. 54,000 is what they have to pay from their pocket. You have to take that. Therefore, in calculator, please, 90,000 into, on that you have to apply 25%. 25%, you will get, I think, 22500. Yes, 22500. That you have to take here, 22500, and that is profit component here. No, sorry. Total component. Total here 22500. No cost, only profit. Yes. Now comes the total. This is 112,500. 112,500. This will be same 75750, and this is 36750. 36750. At this price you will transfer it to FG. Now only be clear, for FG account which is the relevant number, 75750 or 112,500? 112,500, because that is what they have to pay. That is what they have to pay to whom? Process 2. Later when you prepare FG account, don't get confused. Why am I applying on this number? Why am I not applying on this number? Now itself be clear. This is the relevant number for FG account. Okay, sir. Take it here. Now on the credit side, by transfer to FG account. Transfer to FG account. 112,500. Here 75750 and 36750. Copy this here as the total. 112,500, 75750, 36750. Right. What else they've asked in the question? Please go back to the question, all of you. They've asked you two things. One, process account and FG account. We have to do, yes, heading FG account. Finished goods account. You know, this should be easy for me. Why, sir? You don't have extra material, extra labor, extra overhead. Sir, why? You are already in FG account. What extra material, labor you will have? Yeah, only stock adjustment. That's it. Yeah, bring it now. Quantity, sorry, not quantity, total cost component profit. Again here, total cost profit. Yes. 2. You should always start from opening stock. Yes. How much is the opening stock given? 22500. Right. In that there is some profit included. Yes, sir. Read last number in the table. 8250. Okay. Take this out now in calculator. 22500 minus 8250. 14250. 14250. Yes. What is the next thing, sir? You know, transfer from process 2 will come. Yes. 2. Transfer from process 2. Process 2. 112,500. Okay. 75750 and 36750. Yes, sir. What we normally used to do, first process, second process, you know what we did? We took material cost extra, labor cost extra. You don't have, therefore here only subtotal. Here only subtotal. Do it. This number will be 135,000. 135,000. This number 90,000, and this will be 45,000. Yes. What we did after the subtotal? Closing stock, correct, minus closing stock. Do you know the value first of all? Yes, sir, given in the question 11250. Right, sir. Sir, we know even how to do profit, cross multiplication. No, correct. But listen to me for a minute. There is something given in the question about closing stock of FG. You have to be very careful. Go to the question. Second paragraph says stock in process is valued at prime cost. That is over already. We did. We used to do subtotal and then do. The finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process 2. That means When you now do cross multiplication, it should not be based on totals. You know what subtotal we used to do? 11,250 into 45,000 and this number. This is how we did the cross multiplication so far, correct. But now they're saying don't do it this way. It should be valued at the price at which it is received from process 2. That means your cross multiplication should change now. How to do it, sir? Observe the number that I'm highlighting. This is one side, and cross multiplication will be based on the price at which you are receiving from process 2. That means now my cross multiplication will be like this. Do it in calculator. 11250 into 36750 divided by 112,500 3675. Why I did it? Because in the question they said closing stock should be valued at the price at which it is received. Therefore, I'm taking the price as the base. Look here, transfer. I'm taking this as the base and cross multiplying. Yes, please write down. Write as a note. Note. Closing stock is equal to. Please show the cross multiplication. 112,500 into 36,750 divided by 112,500. 11250, sorry. Here it is 11250 into 36750 divided by this, you get 3675. Now write it here, 3675. This is negative, by the way. Here you write note below. Note below. Now the difference number 7575. 7575. 7575. This will be the total cost. Sir, what about profit? Hold on. You are in FG account. For the profit, you have to first take the sales value. No, listen first. Can we get these numbers? 135,000 minus 11250. 123,750. Right. Then this will be 90,000 minus 7575. I'm getting 82,425. Right, sir. Last one. 45,000 minus 3675. I'm getting 41325. Okay. For this, you have to add some profit. Add profit. We don't know the profit. Correct, sir. But from FG, you are selling goods to customers. That means you should have some sales information in the question. Yes, sir. Yes, we have. Right. Go to the previous page. Second paragraph says, sale of finished stock during the period was 1,40,000. 1,40,000. Therefore, here on the credit side, by sales account or costing P&L, 1,40,000. 1,40,000. Yes. Okay. So what about cost and profit? Now, please listen. This profit number, I'm highlighting this profit number, we don't know. Sorry, not this. This profit number we don't know. But there won't be any addition here. This will be same 82,425. Whatever is the profit that I fill, that itself will be the total. Yes, sir. So you can fill this as 82,425. Right? That means this total will be same here also. This number and this number, ledger know it should match. So this should be 82,425. Bring it here also. This number, the number here, 82,425. Now you can write it here, 82,425. Observe my arrow marks. 82,425. How I got that number? This number. Okay. Now the difference between these two should be profit. 1,40,000 minus 82425, 57575, that you fill here. 57575. Okay. Bring this number to the debit side. I'm writing in green. 57575. Right, sir. Now 57575 plus 82425 will be 1,40,000. That means the difference between these two, 57575 minus 41325 will be 16250. That will come here, 16250. Here the total 16250. That's all. That's all. Okay, all of you, please listen to me. I'll be repeating the flow, the order in which I did. Everybody, please listen. I'll be now highlighting in a different color. I'll just take blue color and highlight. Okay, first I came till here and then I copied sales from the question, and then I copied this total here, and then I brought that number here on top. Then the difference between these two I wrote as 57575. Then that 57575 I copied here, correct? And then this was here, this 82425 was here. Then I added, I got this 1,40,000, and then I filled these numbers as balancing figure. I'm highlighting in yellow now, 16250, 16250. Yes, done, sir. But this is only sub question 1. Go back to the question. They asked you one more thing, costing P&L account. Costing P&L account. All of you start writing. Heading costing P&L account. Right. First of all, how much is transferred to costing P&L account? The profit number only you take, 57575. Right. Start writing. To FG account, 57575, in bracket only profit. You don't have to again bring 82425 this side, 1,40,000 that side, not necessary. You have already done profit column. So you don't have to show it separately here. Okay, 57575. Sir, is this the profit that the whole company is earning? Correct, but you have to adjust some numbers here. What, sir? In every profit you have taken some profit number. In every process, I'm sorry, in every process you have taken some profit. Sir, what are you talking? Go back to your process account, you'll get to know what I'm talking. See here, in process 1 you have some profit. I'm highlighting in yellow, 13500. Oh, correct, sir, there was some profit. Yeah. And then in process 2 you had some more profit. Where was that, sir? Here, 22500 you added. Correct, sir. These numbers you should first bring. Right. Let us bring now. On the credit side of costing P&L, you write by process 1 account, by process 2 account, by FG account. Yes. What is the number? This is nothing but the profit of the process. In process 1, 13500. Right, sir. Same way in process 2, we added a profit of 22500. Correct, sir. Then same way in my FG account, I added a profit of 16200. Add all of this. 52200. Sir, we are not happy. Why are you not happy? This is not matching with 57575. Correct, it will not match. You know why it will not match? This profit that you are saying that you have earned in process 1, process 2, some of this is still unrealized. Sir, what do you mean by unrealized? Whatever you transferred from process 1, something is still there in process 2. I repeat,
whatever process one transfer price that you have taken, that is all the input cost of process 2, correct? But in process 2 also there is some closing stock, and that stock has some profit element. Listen to me carefully. Listen, you will understand. Where do you write the closing stock in a P&L account? On the credit side. And that includes some profit. Sir, why? Because nobody is transferring anything at cost. Everybody is transferring goods at the price. That means you write closing stock here. That includes some profit. I have to take that out. To take that out, I will take it on the opposite side as 2 profit included in closing stock. Profit included in closing stock. Sir, how to find this out? You have to go back to your process accounts. Everybody go to process 1. In process 1, on the debit side, there was this closing stock negative figure 3,700. Correct, sir. Was there any profit included? No, sir. So this is 0. Okay. Go to process 2. There was some closing stock. Yes. Was there a profit component? Yes. That was 750. Take it.
Sir, by FG account 16,250.
Okay. This is 250. Okay, 16,250. Agreed. Yeah. Now, profit included in closing stock 0 and then 750. And then here in finished goods, you have closing stock profit component of 3675. 3675. Right. Only profit component. Add all of this 750 plus 3675. That will give you 4425. Okay, sir. This we agreed. Sir, but we have one doubt. What doubt? When profit included in closing stock you are taking here, profit included in opening stock also you have to take out now. Perfect. Perfect. Now tell me, if closing stock comes on the credit side and to take out the profit, I have written the numbers on the debit side. Opening stock comes on the debit side, then to take out that profit, I should write it on the credit side. Correct. Start writing now. By profit included in opening stock. Profit included in opening stock. What's the number? For this, you don't have to go to process account. They gave everything in the question only. You see, in the question, process 1 is 0. Okay. Plus in the table last row, process 2, 1500. Okay. Process, sorry, FG 8250. Add all of this. 1500 plus 8250. This is 9750. Now add the totals should match. Ledger account should tally. 57575 plus 4425 comes to 62,000. On the other side, 13500, 22500, 16250 plus 9750, 62,000. Now the account is complete. $62,000. I will just recheck in calculator. You guys also just recheck once. 62,000 should be the final answer. Yes, numbers are matching. That's all. That's all. You know what we effectively did? On the credit side, you observe the numbers. I'm highlighting now. All of you, please concentrate. On the credit side, we took all the profits that came from different processes. Okay. And then we took the final profit. This is coming from sales minus profit, sales minus cost. These two did not match. Why? Because my stock adjustments were not at cost. Stocks had some profits. So I had to take out. If closing stock is written on the credit side and I want to take out profit, then
that part should be on the debit side. So I wrote profit included in closing stock here. Understand? Opposite number. Same way, opening stock comes on the debit side. I want to take out the profit component. So to take out, instead of writing minus on the debit side, I wrote it on the credit side. That is here, profit included in opening stock. All these numbers are there in your, either in the question, opening stock profit is there in the question, closing stock you have done the cross multiplication. Now the ledgers tallied. That's the end of the answer. That's all. That's all. Now for you, one homework I am writing here. You mark page 262, page number 262. You have question number 5 in part B. This is inter-process profit question, similar to what I have done. I won't be reading out because it is everything like how I did. If you want, I'll just show it to you. Page number 262. Yes, here. See, this is similar to what I did just now. Process A and B, FG, opening stock, material, wages, factory, closing stock, inter-process profit included in opening stock. By the way, nothing is here means zero, all these are zeros. Then process A is transferred to B at 25% on price, B is transferred at 20%, stock in process is valued at prime cost, finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received, sales is given, everything. And this was a 10 marks question. And see, the advantage in exam, they asked you prepare process accounts and a finished stock account showing profit in each stage. That anyway you're going to do. They did not ask you costing P&L at all, but in class problem we did even costing P&L account. So here you observe process A and then process B, and then they did finished stock. That's the end of the answer. This sixth was anyway the old homework. Yes, they did not even prepare. They did not even prepare profit and loss account. 10 marks for this. 10 marks for this. Should be very easy. Mark this as today's homework. Right. If you complete that one homework, everything in process account will be over, because all other homework sums we have completed in the previous videos. Up to question number 7, we have completed all the homework sums. There is nothing pending. Right. That's all. That's all. This is the end of process costing chapter. Okay, fine. We'll meet in the next session. You please complete the homework and then only watch the next session, because next session I'll be starting joint product by product chapter, and that is extension of process account. There also you need the knowledge of process costing. There also you have same material labor, same losses, same cost, same factory overhead, but one process will give you multiple outputs. That's all. What we did so far, one process gave one output. Now in joint and byproduct, one process will give you multiple outputs. Therefore, that is also process costing, just that the output is more than one product. That's all. Okay. Yes, we'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much. Bye bye.